But let's find out what we have in this league. Okay, I'm putting coffee aside because if I get excited, count from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grind.
Yes!
Welcome to GGG Live. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Settlers of Kalgur, which launches next week on July 26th.
Tell me if you need it to be louder, guys.
Drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the
Twitch
instructions
drops
below in order to claim your Corsair back attachment. In today's stream, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Settlers of Kalgur challenge.
Currency trade market.
We'll cover the league mechanics.
Currency trade
new
market.
revised crafting systems. A new trade market system for currency. Some sweeping balance improvements, including 2 Ascendancy class changes.
2 Ascendancy class changes!
Improvements.
Gladiator! Gladiator!
And some quality of
Gladiator!
We'll talk about our console native port releases and the features that come alongside them. Finally,
crossplay!
New supporter pack.
Crossplay!
Live Q&A session where Ziggy deals Path of Exile's game.
Crossplay!
Your questions from Twitch chat. After the live stream,
that is not in my bingo book.
Notes. I'll hand over to Mark now to introduce.
Is this loud enough? Is this loud enough?
We're really innovative with the content in this league, and I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks. So let's just get right into it with the trailer for Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalgur.
Louder, okay. I'm gonna put it base, what is? Okay, let's go.
Rayclast is a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here. And yet... Welcome to King's March!
We are building.
Not much yet. But with your help, we can erect the greatest city Rayclast has ever seen.
Oh my god, we're building shit.
We'll need resources.
Oh, no way. Delve in Wildwood?
And savvy planning.
I want the portal. Shipping improvements? They're boats! Boats!
Soon
we are Sims!
Settlers.
We are Sims!
Craftsmen. Fortune seekers.
Sims League!
And of course, pirates.
Dude, Sims League!
But if we prevail, our ships will be heavy with gold.
What is this? Anno 1800?
We hope to achieve the impossible.
Is this the Apology League?
To build a home.
Is this the Apology League? Is this the RTS I ever wanted? Respect with gold? Currency exchange market? Warden Ascendancy? Gladiator Rework? Melee rebalance? Okay, we knew this, okay. And game improve. What the hell, dude? Yo!
In Path of Exile Settlers of Kalgur, you will encounter some familiar faces from the Expedition League. Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin are Kalguran people who are trying to establish trade between Rayclast and their homeland. They have recruited many curious characters from Rayclast, including some you may recognize, but are also seeking help of a powerful exile, like yourself.
I love that.
You will first encounter Johan, the King's Hand and Lionized Watch.
This Lionized 1.
He's there recruiting workers, traders, and exiles. Johan, under the command of the King of Kalgur, has been sent here to build a new city called King's March.
Yeah, Tujin is very
which intends
short.
to become the hub of commerce between Rayclast and Kalgur. Soon, he will bring you to the planned site for King's March, which you'll notice has humble beginnings as just a tavern in a field. But with your help, it won't stay like
this is like world event.
It takes a lot to build a town. The Kalgurans will ask you to seek out resources that can be used to begin construction. On your adventures, you might find minerals such as crimson iron,
6 months later,
which are veins of iron that have been overrun with corruption, spawning dangerous foes when you approach.
Auto loot for gold?
Or perhaps orichalcum, which you will have to liberate from the demons worshipping it.
I might not
Petrified amber attracts mindless, blighted enemies.
This is like similar to
While
Ultimatum.
Bismuth has a strong affinity to the elements and causes the area to become unstable. If If you're lucky, you might find vericium, a material as valuable as it is dangerous, and guarded by very powerful foes.
Yeah, gladiator moves
Once you
busted.
defeat these monsters, the deposit will automatically be tagged for mining. But first, we need to get someone to do the hard labor.
Nico.
This is of course a trade expedition and nothing is free. Miners, along with other workers that the Kalgurans have hired, must be paid in cold hard gold,
Cold hard.
which
gold.
you'll notice is now dropping throughout Rayclast. You will have control about who gets hired into your enterprise. Once you have accumulated some gold, head to the town and talk to the recruiter, Rauf.
Oh
He's been
my
busy
god.
tracking down hardy folk across Rayclast who are looking for work.
Sims,
You'll notice
dude.
each person has their specialties and a wage cost. It'll be up to you to hire and fire as you please. Over the course of the league, you'll be searching for your perfect employees for each job.
Convoluted boat
Once you
management.
have them, you'll have to keep them paid, safe, and alive, which we'll get into later. Here we have a prospect who has a specialty in mining. We'll start with that so we can begin to retrieve some of those resources we were talking about earlier. Let's go find some ore and put our miner to use. Oh, we've found a vein of orichalcum ore. It's guarded by dangerous demons worshipping a strange shrine. The shrine buffs the demons, giving them power, but once you defeat them,
That
you
long
can seize
range,
that
dude,
power for
pick up.
yourself. After that, we can tag the ore, and our mining specialist will get to work. Soon, we encounter a few more deposits, each with a different
You get
dangerous
immediately.
encounter.
You get stuff immediately, see that?
After you have tagged the mineral veins, your miners will get to work collecting resources in real time. They might take a while, but will continue whether you are logged in or not. The work can be sped up by hiring more or better miners, and by upgrading the mining station back in Kingsmarch to equip them with advanced pickaxes. Alright, some time has passed and our miners have been able to get the resources back to town. We've also managed to
Daily
collect
quests.
some more gold too.
Hourly quests.
We can now upgrade the town and build new structures.
Sheep.
There's plenty of options. We just need to decide where to start. I think we'll start with the tavern, the beating heart of Kingsmarch. It can be upgraded instantly to improve the recruiter's prospects. And you can find various important NPCs relaxing here.
And there's a refresh.
Next, we'll upgrade our mining station. You can upgrade this to improve the efficiency of your miners and allocate our newly hired workers to mining. You will eventually need a smelter.
This
where you can
is
send your
like-
ore to turn into more valuable bars.
We put the game in a
Then
game.
we
I
have
love
the
this.
Disenchanter,
I love
where
this.
you can bring your magic, rare,
Yeah.
or unique items to be added to a queue to be disenchanted over time. The items will be broken down into thaumaturgic dust, a new resource used for crafting and shipping. We'll get more into that later. And of course, a town needs food. You could invest in farming, where you can select crops to grow and harvest. But don't worry, you won't be manually watering anything. Ah, the wonders of delegation.
But my
With
Stardew
all these
Valley.
resources piling up, there will be excess that we can spend. Let's talk about rewards in Settlers of Kalgur. Eventually, you can build a harbour and establish shipping routes between a number of different Kalguran and Karui ports for trade.
Okay.
You'll be able to pile your acquired resources onto
Shipping.
these ships and send them to a port of your choosing, where your traders will haggle for the best
Do we
deals.
go on a boat?
Each port will return specific rewards based on what you send them. They accept all types of resources, but will have a preferred type that they'll currently pay more for.
Tycoon
And you'll
City.
want to get
Dude.
onto this, because eventually you could be bringing in shipments like this.
Oh!
This,
60 points.
or even this.
Items, okay. Click the next one. Scarabs.
Today, we're going to trade with Kalgur.
They made
You'll
a
notice
game
that as
inside
we
of a
send more
game.
resources, this risk meter creeps up. Much like the dangers on the shores of Rayclast,
Oh
there
my
are dangers
God.
out at sea. Monsters, pirates, environmental hazards.
Yeah, tickle button is
You'll
kind of
want to
funny.
try keep your shipment safe. You can do this by hiring workers that specialize in shipping.
Oh
The more
my
of them you add to
God,
the
dude.
ship, the less risk there will be.
Hey, Diablo.
Like
Watch this.
gentleman, who's famous for fending off even the most dangerous of pirates.
Jesus Christ, that took down
Now
a
let's
lot.
get that shipment going, and we'll
Oh my
continue
God.
exploring Ray class while we wait for its return.
So we don't go on
This
boats.
is the first Path of Exile League that experiments with true, real-time mechanics. You can send out shipments, go and have lunch, and come back to your rewards.
This should
Many
be cargo.
mechanics in the league work this way, so you'll always have some ongoing
return.
project or outcome to look forward to. When your shipment has returned, or met its demise, you'll get notified, and at your leisure you can return to the town to collect your rewards. Our shipment returned safely, so let's go see what we got. Ooh, they've sent us a unique item alongside our rewards.
Reward instead of
hoping to
50%
secure
farmer,
us as
nice.
a loyal customer for the future. Aside from shipping, the Kalgurans are big on their technology. They have hired Isla, a familiar face from the Heist League.
Yes.
She is an engineer who the Kalgurans have employed for a very exciting purpose. You're not the only one who understands how profitable running maps can be. Once at endgame,
She made,
Isla can
like-
help you build a series of Kalguran modified map devices.
Oh my god. Is that 3 map
You
devices?
can then put a queue of maps into them. If you've hired a few skilled Atlas runners, they will put themselves to work running those maps for you one after another.
Yes!
Look, more
I
delegation.
wanted more slaves!
Once again,
Yes!
you'll be notified when the rewards are ready to be collected.
I love that shit!
You can put lots of maps in the queue, so don't feel obliged to go back there all the time.
They do your maps, dude!
Be careful though. The
Finally!
difficulty of the map impacts the risk of your workers perishing.
Oh my
Try to pick your
lord.
best workers, or perhaps just ones you don't like. Consider the difficulty too.
God.
Sometimes it's better to just run it yourself. You'll
Slaves
see there are
fleeing,
many
yeah.
benefits to having a whole-ass town at your fingertips.
Whole ass town?
Let's talk about crafting services.
You are nuts.
You should definitely consider building a runesmithing table. This is operated by Danig himself, using powerful Kalguran blacksmithing arts. He can engrave runic magic onto your weapons using runes.
Okay.
There are many rune types and combinations to choose from, and you can unlock
And they
new
stack.
crafts that can be applied to your weapons
Up
as
to 100.
enchantments.
They learned from
Our
corpses.
design intention here is to take powerful effects you would usually only find on unique items,
Unique item
like this
modifier
modifier, which you might
crafting
recognize
on
from
rare
Boomfish's
items.
Prism. Danig can apply it to your two-hand mace.
Dude!
There are over 100 different special crafting outcomes.
Make your own
From
unique.
Very easily applied to very difficult. The rune types can be acquired through trade with Kalgur, or defeating powerful bosses.
Beginners, I'm sorry. This is going to be
The
like a 2-hour
Kalguran
video.
tech benefits don't end there. We're also bringing back a formerly overpowered crowd favorite, Recombination.
Oh my
Isla is
god,
trying
dude.
to master this. She just needs you to help her with getting resources.
Recombinators
The
are
system
back.
isn't as strong as it used to be, but it still allows you to combine two items together,
Combining two
hoping to
items
get the best
into
modifiers
one.
of each onto a single item.
That's basically it, combining 2 items into one.
Between running a town, shipping,
Oh
and
my
exploring, you'll be collecting a lot of extra gold. It is now the primary resource for 2 huge new quality of life features that we are putting to test.
Okay, 2 huge quality of life.
Firstly, you can use gold to respec passive points.
Okay.
This is a feature from Path of
Oh,
Exile
oops.
2 that we've decided just makes sense to port back.
Okay, thank you.
The higher
Yes.
level you are, the more expensive it gets.
Okay, makes sense. Cool.
And the next one is absolutely massive. A currency trade
Yes,
market.
say it.
The Kalgurans have recruited
Trader.
Faustus, another NPC from the Heist League.
Trader.
He allows you to asynchronously buy and sell currency and most other stackable items with other players without the nuisance of
It's a
price fixes and people
trader
who never respond.
that I wanted.
All you need to do is select
Yes!
what currency you want, say what you have, and your ideal ratio. It works kinda like a real-life stock market. Faustus will make the trade happen for you, so long as there is someone selling on the other end for the same rate or less.
Fucking
You'll be able
finally.
to go back to blasting monsters while trusty Faustus does the dirty work, notifying you when your
Currency
currency is
exchange.
ready for collection. All you need to do is pay him a small amount of gold for his time.
That's gonna be instant, by the way.
Cards on the table, this is an experiment to see if this type of asynchronous trading has a place in future Path of Exile releases. We
Of
are
course
very
it has.
excited to
Of
see
course
how
it has.
goes.
It has. It has. It has.
Now, given that Faustus is an expert in black market trade and
Social
shady
anxiety remedy, yeah,
deals,
true.
he also provides another service.
Oh, is that a
offering
gamba?
items for gold.
Gamba.
The items will generate with random rarity,
Although it
and on
does tell you
average, the
what,
modifiers on them are better than normal. This
Oh,
can be
shit,
a very
nice.
nice way to get some targeted items during the campaign.
That's cool.
For
And it
serious
also tells you
crafters,
what
it can be a great starting point for
dexterity.
making those elusive, specific
That's
in-game
nice.
items.
By
which
color,
perhaps
it gives
could
you
take
like
to
what
the rune
stat
pit
it is.
afterwards. It's worth noting that you can invite Faustus to your hideout, where he will always be available for respecking, currency exchange, and black market items.
Yes.
As your town grows, it will attract more attention, good and bad. Settlers of Kalgur features 3 endgame bosses that will close in on your operations, wanting a piece of the pie.
Okay.
They might capture and ransom your workers, even your entire ships. You'll have to make some tough decisions. Will you take them on or pay them off?
Ooh.
One example of a boss is Sasan,
Sasan.
the Bandit Lord.
This looks like a boss
You won't
boss.
stumble across this boss by accident. Instead, this unsavory character can come into your town at night and take your Atlas runners hostage, holding them for ransom. What happens next is up to you. Perhaps you'll refuse to negotiate with bandits, leading to a fight to defeat Sasan and rescue your workers. If you're not up for the heroics, you might simply pay the ransom in gold. Or perhaps these workers were especially disappointing, and you'll just leave them for dead in true Ray class fashion. They knew what
their
they were
rates
signing up
are
for,
because
right?
of the player base that they had,
Of
which is
course,
very low.
the heroics might be worth it for other reasons.
Unique
These
items.
bosses can drop new unique items.
New unique items, yes. Swan Tower Shield, chance to block spell damage, ward.
In
Okay,
sum,
wards.
Settlers
Okay.
of Kalgur is a very experimental league with new mechanics that will completely change how you play the core game. We've been sitting on a lot of these ideas for a while and can't wait to share them with you. But there's a lot more to this expansion. Let's talk about balance.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
Well,
go. Let's go.
We've finally rebalanced the Gladiator. It's been a long time coming.
Okay.
Like before, there are passive skills that allow you to invest in
50
bleeding
chance to block.
and block.
Attack,
We've designed
block,
new skills,
lucky,
replacing some of the
attack
old
speed,
ones.
Bleeding, explode
Like
20%.
this,
Okay.
War of Attrition, which is very handy for long sustained boss
Deal
fights.
more damage. Free
Further
chance second beginning
alongside
of
the Gladiator
presence.
theme,
Okay.
this new passive allows you to combine different weapon types while dual wielding
Accuracy
to get a
rating.
variety of
Well,
powerful bonuses.
ooh. Oh,
For
that sword
example,
that gives you
Holding
everything.
a dagger will give you more critical strike chance, while holding a mace gives you more area of
There's
effect.
a weapon that gives you
Of
all
course,
weapon
you
types.
could just use Varanastra for all weapon type bonuses.
Varnastra. There we go.
And finally, we have a new notable which allows you to invest in the newly added retaliation skills.
can be used for
These
additional
are
2
active
seconds.
skills which require you to meet a certain condition in
Okay.
order to use them. Once you meet that condition, you can unleash devastation on your foes.
Good.
Here we have Eviscerate, which requires you to have a shield.
Okay.
Or for those who like to dual wield, Sword Storm, which is great for obliterating bosses.
We're entering Buster.
Here, we
Counter
have the
skills, yeah.
Divine Retribution skill. This one has the condition requiring you to block. You can then unleash a devastating spell, causing lightning bolts to strike the ground in an X shape around your target location, doing huge amounts of damage. And of
I don't
course,
want
in
that.
true Path of Exile fashion, there are many avenues to invest in these mechanics further on the
Very
passive tree
good.
and a new support gem. You are able to
Very
increase
good.
the leeway duration after meeting the condition, reduce the cooldowns, or just increase their damage.
And
the world's your
45 melee hit, by the way. And rage, by
The
the way, 10
Gladiator
rage.
wasn't the only ascendancy class we've changed. As we develop Path
Come
of
on.
Exile systems, we
Say
often
it.
find ourselves reusing mechanics, increasing their
Say
depth,
it.
and allowing more avenues to invest into them. As such, the Raider Ascendancy class found itself lacking, with many of its passives commonly available elsewhere.
Come on.
We want our Ascendancy classes to
on.
always feel like they're pushing the boundaries,
Come on.
allowing you to change your character in ways that are meaningful and ideally unique. As a result, we've straight up removed the Raider. Rest in peace.
Bye,
Added
Raider.
a new class in its place, the Warden.
Hi,
This
Warden.
class is largely inspired by its predecessor from the Affliction League, with a few changes.
Let's see.
The
on.
Warden now focuses on elemental attacks. changing the behavior of
Shocks
shock,
from hits, they can... Okay.
enhancing freeze,
Okay.
and replacing ignite with
Hoarfrost, by the
Scorch.
way. Scorch.
There's also a skill that allows you to go ballistic with your elemental damage, periodically.
80% more elemental damage
The
while
class
unbound.
also grants Bark Skin,
Bark Skin, yes,
which
that's
is a
what we
skill
had.
that can be used to mitigate physical damage from hits.
Yeah.
After taking a number of hits, it increases your evasion,
Yeah.
making it a great defensive choice. Finally, the last thing the Warden can specialize in is tinctures. These are an alternative to flasks from the Affliction League. We're bringing them back with adjusted mechanics. Tinctures
gonna
can be
have
placed in your
so
build,
much
replacing
fun.
flasks. You can inherently only have one tincture active at a time, and it requires a melee weapon to use.
By the way, that's not...
While activated, they grant a powerful buff.
That's not...
They can drop as magic items,
That's not a
or be
raider.
modified with currency to grant extra bonuses.
That's not a raider.
Here is a
That's a
prismatic tincture. This one increases elemental damage by 100%
That's a
while
raider.
active. You'll notice it has two extra effects. One is that it applies mana burn every
It's a
second.
ranger exclusive.
Mana burn is a debuff that builds up while tinctures are active that causes you to lose mana, losing more mana for each stack. Tinctures also have a cooldown, so once you have disabled one, no other tincture can be enabled for a time. These changes make tincture use a more active and interesting choice than it was in Affliction. Both mana burn and the cooldown can be modified through modifiers on the tinctures or on the passive skill tree.
Can you do
Players
it?
will want to
Can you
maximize their
automate
tincture
it?
uptime for sure. Here we have a couple other tinctures. The Poisonberry
This is
tincture
Raider
is
for
excellent
now.
for poison builds.
Well, Warden.
The Rosethorn tincture is the choice for those wanting to deal critical strikes.
Raiders on Standard
You
League
might be wondering,
Ascendancy deleted.
with the removal of the Raider, where has the Frenzy Charge investment gone?
To Deadeye.
We've added a Frenzy Charge passive skill to the Deadeye, replacing the Rupture passive skill.
Bye, crit bleed.
On top of Ascendancy
crit
classes, we
bleed.
have revisited a
Oh
number
my
of core
God.
mechanics. This time taking
Blown
pains
a
to
knot
ensure
now.
easy access through the passive tree, skill gems, and
Oh
simple
my
items.
lord,
We
dude.
don't want all the powerful mechanics to be hidden behind layers of complexity. Let's just rapid fire through the key points.
Dude,
If you want more
Sims.
detail later, you can read the patch notes, which will be dropped after the live stream.
After
Be
the
sure
live
to
stream,
let us
okay.
know what you think. There's a lot of changes, so be prepared for a bit of a shock to the system. I expect it will take several days for the dust to settle on this one.
30k words, by the
Firstly,
way.
we've
Totems.
made some
Totems.
drastic alterations to melee skills. Let me just rip this band-aid off. Melee totem skill gems have been removed.
Yes! Totems
We're
removed.
trying to adopt a philosophy with melee going forward that, unlike other builds, it will be far less oriented around set and forget gameplay.
Yes!
You will deal the damage
Bye.
yourself, and you should be rewarded for doing so.
Give us 30% buff. Let's go.
To compensate, we have buffed the
That's
damage on
before.
almost every single melee skill.
Who even reads
As the
forums, Chris?
majority of this damage growth comes from gem levels, we have also made them cost more mana as they level, but it's
Okay.
nothing like the mana costs on spells. Here are some examples of the damage and costs before and after. Heavy Strike has gone from dealing 313% attack damage at
Oh
gem
my
level
God,
20
a 50%
to a massive
buff.
552% attack damage.
Even more.
It's also worth noting it no longer
It's
knocks enemies back.
It's like, oh,
And
that's
Sweep
very
has
good.
gone from dealing 281%
Mlem,
attack damage
mlem.
to now dealing 664%
But it doesn't have
attack
added the
damage
physical
at gem
damage,
level
but it's
20.
fine. Mlem is
These
back.
are just two
Mlem is
examples,
back.
But the majority of
Mlem,
melee
mlem, mlem.
skills are now dealing approximately 75% more damage at level 20.
75% more
Of
damage.
course, with melee comes close proximity combat, so you need some good defensive options. New base types with higher defensive values will now
Okay.
drop throughout the endgame.
And it's,
As
of
you
course,
reach yellow,
in
red,
17s.
and purple maps, you can expect to find higher tier base types in each.
Yes, okay.
For example, Val Regalia and Hubris Circlet are no longer the best in slot items for Energy Shield. There are new base types that surpass them. Combined with some quality changes, which we'll talk about soon, you can now get better items than ever before in these slots.
Okay.
To
Mellow
compensate,
viable,
we have
very.
reduced the amount of flat evasion and armor from the
Do I have
Grace
a
and
build?
Determination
Yes.
auras.
I
But
have lots of
overall,
builds.
you're getting more defenses than before.
And that's why we nerfed the auras.
On top of this, we have buff life modifiers on magic and rare equipment.
186
You can now get as high as 189 additional maximum life from a single modifier on body armors, and more on other slots too. Calm's heart has also finally been restored to its former glory, and once again grants plus 1000 to maximum life. I mentioned quality. Quality on weapons and armors is being changed to apply multiplicatively. In other words, weapons with full quality will give 20% more physical damage, and armor with full quality will have 20% more local defenses.
Be still,
For
my
melee,
heart.
This will mean a damage increase for almost all builds using physical damage attacks, and it will mean more evasion, armor, energy shield, and ward for all builds. Endurance charges no longer grant elemental resistances,
Okay.
but instead grant additional elemental damage reduction,
Okay.
making it multiplicative with resistances.
That's fine. That's awesome.
You
Yes,
can now
yes,
get
yes. Okay.
4% per charge,
4%
alongside
damage
the
reduction.
existing 4% physical damage reduction.
Okay, so if you have 10...
To
so
compensate,
that's, yeah.
we have made some changes to the Juggernaut, and various
Okay.
unique items like Eternal Damnation.
Okay.
You can get more maximum resistances from the tree, specifically around the Marauder class start.
Okay.
These of course can stack with the new elemental mitigation from endurance charges.
Okay. Jug be
On top
doing
of
jug
this,
things.
duels can now roll maximum elemental resistances as modifiers.
What the fuck?
Since we're making elemental mitigation more accessible, we've heavily reduced accessibility to physical damage taken as chaos or elemental damage. Those stats
Okay.
are still around, but you should not expect to be getting full conversion anymore.
Okay.
All block passives have been buffed, so you can now more easily achieve block cap from just the passive tree. The Keystone Versatile Combatant
Yes!
has been improved to have less of a penalty to maximum block.
Minus 10 instead of...
A number of Life Leech passives have been buffed to generally allow for more acquisition of maximum leech rate for life. Vow Pact has been reinstated to its former glory for instant life leech,
is
but
instant.
only for melee.
But only for melee,
We've
okay.
reworked Flesh and Stone. Previously, this
Flesh
buff
and
skill
Stone?
granted Maim and Blind,
Okay.
depending on the stance of our character.
Take up to 10 less
Now,
damage,
while in
more
Sand
physical
stance,
damage.
the
Okay.
skill simply provides damage mitigation,
Yeah.
becoming more effective the
This is
closer you
better.
are to enemies.
This is better. Yeah, this
While
is
in
better.
Blood stance, enemies will take more
Oh
physical
my
damage
God.
the closer you are to them. This skill will now greatly favor melee or close range gameplay.
Oh my god.
Given we're doing a Kalguran league, Ward has also received a bit of attention.
Yeah, Ward has gotten a buff.
There are new
I've
uniques
seen
that grant
the
Ward,
uniques, yeah.
and the base restoration of Ward is now faster.
Nice.
To
Very nice.
compensate, Olroth's Resolve has been nerfed, but
Okay.
Ward loop builds will still be possible.
Okay, Ward loopers possible.
Anyway,
That's good.
that was most of the purely defensive changes. Now let's look at some of the offensive and utility-based ones.
Okay.
There are more and better ways to deal with mana as an attacker on the southern hemisphere of the passive tree.
Thank you. Fucking thank you, man. Yes, thank you.
Wands, daggers, scepters, claws, and staves now have higher critical strike chance values than ever. Wands
Okay.
can go as high as 10% without
Jesus
modifiers.
fuck.
Sandstorm Visage has been made rarer to compensate, instead of reducing its power.
Oh,
For
Sandstorm
you
is
wand
usually- okay.
attackers, Wands
Kinetic
now have
bolt buff.
higher attack speed than ever to compensate for their low damage. Wand exclusive skills such as Power Siphon, Kinetic Bolt, and Kinetic Blast now have faster attack times.
Okay.
Impale passives have been revised and in general buffed.
I am excited.
The buffs granted by Warcries are now simpler but more significant,
Okay.
and more universal to builds.
Okay.
They also now apply to allies by default.
They apply to allies by default.
Banners have been reworked.
Banners?
Instead of having a reservation cost, they are now free.
They're free?
However, they don't grant a permanent buff.
Okay.
Banners now need to be placed for the effect to be active.
Okay.
However, once placed, they are far more powerful than before. Additionally, there are new ways to prolong the effects and more ways to invest in them than ever before.
Nice. Valor
Rage
for...
has been made more fundamental and discoverable. Rage is now multiplicative attack damage, but no longer
Multiplicative.
inherently grants attack speed
Okay.
or movement speed.
Okay.
It has a new cap, and you can find many new passive clusters that allow you to invest into the mechanic.
2 rage and melee hit.
The goal is to make rage more powerful.
Dude, you
as
can
a
get
baseline
like 10
and
rage a
less gated
hit.
behind the use of specific unique items and ascendancy classes. Berserk has been nerfed, just so you're aware.
Fuck Berserk.
We have changed how bleed works too.
Oh my
You
god.
can now find aggravated bleed on the passive tree.
Aggravate?
When applied,
This higher
all
damage
bleeds
is
on the enemy will deal damage
Yes!
as if the enemy is moving for the remainder of their duration.
Yes!
The
Yes!
skill Ensnaring Arrow no longer interacts with bleed, so no more will you have to apply bleeds and swap to a bow.
Yes!
You can now achieve the same result using aggravated bleed passives without the annoyance.
Yes!
Rupture from the Deadeye has been turned into a support gem.
I will make this build.
We've added the new Overexertion support gem, which highly
More
favors
damage
slam
for
builds.
each. Okay, this is good for slammers, yes.
Now, it's time to look at a hot topic.
Rarity.
Magic Find.
Magic Find.
In the Settlers of
Kill them.
Kalgur expansion, we are going to be removing item quantity bonuses from all character items. This will not affect existing items in standard leagues.
Yes!
Magic Find is intended to be
you,
another access on
MFers.
your gear you can scale once you have achieved the power you want.
Burn it all!
With item quantity being only available on unique items, this meant if you wanted to get the most out of it, you had to be playing a very specific build.
Yes.
We still want people to be able to invest into Magic Find, but now only through item rarity.
Good. Good.
This can be obtained on a number of
Good.
rare item slots, and by a much larger number of builds.
Good.
What about Ventor's Gamble, you might ask? Here it is now.
Mana reservation efficiency of skills.
This is one of the biggest
Ventor's
balance patches
Gamble.
we've ever done. I can't promise that existing builds will all be safe. Even we aren't able to predict all the outcomes here, nor have we even gone into every single change, just the major ones. I don't know, man. Balance is hard.
Totem's dead,
But
yes.
the sheer number of new, viable options is exciting, especially for melee. And we're determined to drag the game in a better direction. Be sure to read the patch notes after this. It's going to be a ruckus.
Jumping chickens.
In 3.24, we overhauled
Okay.
the in-game
There's
experience
more,
by
by the way.
introducing a new tier of maps and
YouTube,
reworking
I'm really
scarabs.
sorry for the length
We
of the
want
video.
to
It is
continue
what
to
it is.
improve these systems and introduce more exciting in-game content every league. 3.25 is no exception. Let's check out the myriad of changes coming in Settlers of Kalgur. First up, we are
Hello,
changing
YouTube.
many scarabs.
Scarabs,
We won't
good.
go into too much detail here to avoid
I'm
getting lost in the
selfish.
weeds, but here's a few new ones.
Okay.
Be sure to check out the patch notes after this for more
Okay,
detail.
good. Good.
We've
Combining the
also added
scarabs.
an additional map device slot, which will be
Yes.
unlocked upon completing your first 10-way Maven encounter.
Yes.
This simply allows for more combinations of scarabs and maps,
So it's
resulting in
unlocked
more
by Maven
difficulty and more rewards. This is on top of the existing additional slot that can be unlocked by completing your first tier 17 map.
Yeah.
There are now 6 map device slots in total.
Yes.
You might have seen our teaser, where we revealed we'll be adding new special encounters to the endgame.
Yes.
One such encounter is the Nameless Seer,
Oh my
lurking
god.
in tier 16 and 17 maps.
You-
This
you-
NPC will give you a selection
you-
of unique items.
Oh
and
my
you can
god.
Pick one for free.
Oh my
In tier
god.
16 maps, he now has an additional feature where
He
you can
shines.
scry a map.
Scry a map?
This allows you to swap the divination card drops of the current map with another map on your atlas.
You
Just one
bastards!
You cannot have the same map be in multiple swaps at the same time. If you want to undo your choice, you can use a scouring orb on either map on your atlas.
You what?
We've also made some updates to a couple of leagues.
Blight changes?
Blight has been updated with some atlas passive
Mousy.
skill changes,
Mousy. I'm sorry I didn't put Blight on the bingo.
and double anointed amulets can now drop in Blight Ravaged maps.
Double anointed
We've also introduced a new type of oil that can only drop from Blighted and Blight Ravaged maps.
You predicted it!
Ritual has
Damn
also
the
been
cards.
updated. You can now find one new and many reworked base types, new unique items, corpses you can use to raise a specters,
Corpses for summoners, dude. And,
and
the marionette,
occasionally a
by the way.
fragment, granting access to the King in the
Yes,
Mist
let's-
boss fight
yes!
from the Affliction League.
Yes!
He will drop a number of unique items that were familiar from the league,
I want his portal, by the way. I
but
want his
not
portal.
that which was taken.
Ah, fuck
As
off.
it is now that which was taken away.
That which was taken away. Ah, go fuck Okay,
However,
no, that
he now drops a different modular jewel that you might recognize from the Necropolis
you
League.
piece of... Pirandas? The Light of Meaning. Okay, so that's Piranda's Pact. Okay, the Light of Meaning is now Piranda's Pact. That's fine.
In
Okay,
Tier
cool.
16 and Tier 17 maps, you can now encounter the Wildwood, also
Yes.
from the Affliction League.
Yes.
In case you missed it, the Wildwood is a mysterious forest.
Please tell me it doesn't
fraught
have
with
quantity.
danger.
Please tell me it doesn't have quantity.
In the darkness, you will find magical wisps yearning for freedom.
Yes.
Upon releasing them, they will empower the monsters in your map, promising more danger but more rewards.
Yes.
You may also find random sentinels on the ground.
No
near the start of
way!
Your maps from the Sentinel League.
Even
They work in a
Sentinels?
similar way to before. They aren't items, but you can click on them and then they can be activated in that area at any time of your choosing.
No
On
way!
activation, they will buff monsters around you.
Did they pull the
increasing their
lever?
difficulty and rewards.
Did they pull the lever like
And here's
players
one for those
leaving the
who
game?
like to live dangerously. You may occasionally find a reflective mist from the Kalandra League. It has two outcomes.
Yes!
It could drop a jewelry item with randomly enhanced
It's
or inverted
either
modifier
trash
values,
or god tier. It's usually
or
trash.
it can give a reflecting mist item, which can be used on an existing piece of jewelry to perform the same action at a time of your choosing.
And it's a
Good
drop.
luck. There's many other small changes to League content. We're removing the first 15 most boring waves of the simulacrum and rebalancing its rewards to improve the chances of finding unique jewels.
Holy shit.
We're also adding some of the beasts from Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts to the core pool. This includes the Black Morrigan. In other news, we've
my
added
God.
a set of new chisel types, which can be applied to your maps to get different bonuses.
It's like 5 more.
While the Cartographer's Chisel still increases item quantity, there are new
Please
ones
tell
that
me this
now
give like
increase
implicit.
rarity,
Implicit. Yes.
pack size,
Yes.
increased chance for currency items,
This was Valorb.
divination
Lastly.
cards, and scarabs.
Yes. Awesome.
It's
awesome.
also worth
awesome.
mentioning that chisels now apply 20% quality per chisel to white maps, 10% to yellow maps, and 5% to red maps and higher.
Okay. Fair point.
Unique maps still require the full 20 chisels.
Fair point.
Also,
Good.
only one type of chisel can be applied to a map at a time.
One type of chisel. That's perfectly fine. That's same as
During
quality.
324, we made a change to Tier 17 maps that allowed them to
Chaos
be
Orbs,
rerolled with
Valorbs,
Chaos
and
Orbs.
Chisels, by the way.
We are now expanding the currency types that can be used on them to
Okay.
also include currencies like chisels and Valorbs.
Okay. And you can corrupt them.
Ultimately,
Kaboom.
the only restriction Tier 17 maps now have is that explicit modifiers cannot be removed from them.
Okay.
We have also revised the difficulty of these maps, as they didn't quite hit the mark.
Shizu was right.
The monsters in them now have substantially less life
Lovely.
and deal less damage,
But
meaning
less
Tier
loot.
17 maps now better fit into the progression between Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle
Thank
content.
you. Yes, thank you.
Lastly, we've adjusted the drop rate of Valdo's puzzle boxes. Previously, we were adapting its drop rate based on the possible outcomes selected by supporters. So many supporters really wanted Mage Bloods, so
Yes.
the box was hardly dropping. Thus, we have drastically increased the drop rate of the box, but reduced the probability of getting chase unique items from it, like Mage Blood.
They just swapped the things out.
Overall, we have taken care not to reduce the number of Mage Bloods total in the economy.
Okay.
We figured it was better to have more tickets for fun rather than
Yeah.
barely seeing any boxes in a league.
And that's also like in
We've
a
been
map.
hard at work improving the Path of Exile experience on consoles.
Probably, yeah.
With native ports for the Xbox Series consoles already being released, and PS5 on the near horizon, the game now takes full advantage of the console hardware. Loading times have been reduced even further, pop-in has been reduced, and
That was a
textures
stutter,
won't
by the way.
start unloading in heavy scenes. Furthermore, overall visual fidelity has been improved for all new
Console
generation
W.
consoles.
Console W.
Path of Exile now uses the highest available resolution
Yeah, console
textures
has
and
shit,
water effects.
shit UI, but whatever.
We've installed a new upscaling algorithm that improves the crispness of dynamic resolution, with an additional anti-aliasing pass on top of that.
But console W. Console
With
W.
these upgrades, we also support variable refresh rate TVs and monitors on PlayStation 5 and on all Xbox consoles.
More
In the
options always
players
better.
can now choose which aspect of visual fidelity they want to focus on. Resolution, image quality, or target frame rate.
No, Luna, they had two
In
shit leaks.
324, we added some new encounters and secrets to
And
the campaign.
they,
In Settlers
yeah.
of Calgur, we're adding even more.
This is an apology leak.
We're not going to spoil them all here, But keep an eye out for
There's
anything
more
unfamiliar
campaign.
on your adventures. Who knows what you'll find? I mean, I know, but still.
Shut up, Mark.
There's an underground bunker underneath the refinery.
Oh no.
Guarded by powerful robots. I wonder what's
Heist.
been hidden away here.
Oh my god,
How do I
heist.
unlock this mysterious door? What riches must lay inside?
You
Blighted growths
assholes.
have appeared in the gardens and sewers of San.
Oh my
A
god.
vault containing riches can be found in the reliquary.
This was after the campaign. That was
As you might have seen in
Wow.
our teasers, there's a slew of quality of life features we've been working on. Here's a quick summary.
quality of life.
You'll no longer need to interact with waypoints to unlock
Yes,
them.
we know that.
You can just walk by.
That
and
was
they'll
cool. That was
activate
actually
automatically.
pretty far, actually.
When using keyboard and mouse, you'll be able to pick up items from further
Farther.
away.
Yes.
We're adding static life bars to some
Yes.
bosses.
We've
Not
seen
all
that.
bosses will have them just yet, but we'll be adding more over time.
Which is a great change.
You can now see which divination cards drop in each map by hovering over them on your atlas.
Very good.
When you die, you can now resurrect without having to reactivate all your reservation
Yeah,
effects.
that return
like
to
auras
town
and
button
heralds.
is still there
You can start harvest encounters with just a
immediately.
single action.
Very nice change.
The amount of quality provided by currency items like whetstones is now based on the item level, rather than item rarity. Those currencies now apply a 20% quality to very low-level items,
Which
with
prompts
that
you to
amount
use.
reducing as the item level increases.
Yeah, which prompts you to use them in campaign.
Next up, we're going to be
Let's see.
talking about our new
Let's
League
see.
supporter packs.
Let's see.
Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Paladin and Penance packs.
Paladin.
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in
Paladin.
points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available for the duration of the Settlers of Calgary League, and will leave the store forever when it
Mark,
ends.
please show them to
As
me.
always,
I
the
want to give you money.
microtransactions in
Show
these
them
packs
to
are
me.
purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Paladin series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Is that a plane? Is that a raw racing ground?
Adorn your weapon or shield with the Paladin weapon effect. Make a show of leveling up with the Harpy Flyover level up effect.
Harpy flyover. Pardon, not an airplane.
Equipping the Divine Paladin armor set will periodically cause slain enemies to be consecrated and laid to rest. This set also comes with a matching back attachment. Both
Warhammer
the helmet
40k.
and back attachment have options to display the radiant glow, or not. You pick. The Divine Judgment finisher effect locks onto unique enemies before obliterating them with
Oh
a laser
my
from the heavens.
god.
May your critical hits
my
resonate
God.
across Rayclast
No.
with the Cleric's
No.
Bell back attachment.
No. No.
Invite
And
your
this is
friends
like-
to spend a day at the races in the
Does anyone
Vastiri
wanna bet some
Racecourse
gold?
hideout.
Does anyone want bits
Add
and gold?
rowers to the track to race them against each other.
Does anyone want bits and gold?
Or you can just spectate from the sidelines.
Does anyone want to bet some gold? Does anyone want to bet some currents? This is gonna be amazing.
The
For
Penance
stream.
Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Ultimatum. Okay.
With the Penance back attachment equipped,
This is
a
cool.
repentant soul is chained to your back and lashed with lightning. Ouch.
No squats until
Place
season.
none other than the Trial Master in your hideout and have him comment on your chaos
A classic, but far fairer now than in ancient times.
and Val crafting attempts.
Your luck is over, fool.
He even keeps a record of how many Chaos and Val orbs you've used in your hideout during the league, or across all leagues.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Blood stains your armor
This is
the
a
more life you
nice
lose when
armor.
wearing the Acolyte's Penance armor set.
Oof.
The Zealot's Madness portal effect fragments as you near it.
That's nice.
The Cauldron map device boils maps, fragments, and scarabs placed into it, keeping a tally of how many have been thrown into the pot in the current league or across all leagues.
I want this. Fuck.
The Exiled Squire pets follow in your footsteps, hyping you up for battles,
No sweat for you, boss.
No sweat.
providing pessimistic commentary,
Cycle repeats.
Cycle repeats.
or voicing their disdain for you to bring you down a peg.
About time you kicked the bucket.
And then it spits on you.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile, Settlers
This
of
is
Calgary.
one of the best supporter packs.
Meanwhile, the Solar and Eldritch packs leave the store forever at the launch of Settlers of Calgary League. So now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Now, we have one more thing to announce before getting into the Q&A.
Even before they
We
say
are soon
PO2.
going to be running a small closed beta test for Path of Exile 2. We have been
When?
taking signups for the Path of Exile 2 beta tests over at pathofexile2.com. We will only be selecting a very limited number of people for this first test, but if you want to make sure that you are considered, then head over to the website and register your email address now. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Settlers of Calgur's full patch notes. With
There was an
release
error
at the end of
submitting
next
before.
week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Settlers of Calgur's release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to building our towns alongside you, trying new builds, slaying monsters, and exploring new in-game strategies next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
For those of you on YouTube, this is going to be a small outro. That was as close to 10 out of 10 as we are gonna get. I'm excited. There are going to be a lot of videos. Don't worry about that one. And yeah, they pulled all the levers. And now for stream, we do bingo. So YouTube, I will see you in the next build guide video. And yes, there will be gladiators and stuff. So fun. Bye-bye.